Good morning, everybody out there, anywhere you might be. You in the front yard, the backyard, you posted up on the side, you on the patio, you on your deck. You on your deck, you should have invited me. You on your deck, you got the lake in your back. Wherever you at, wherever you doing, your house, your home, your resort, your Airbnb, your hotel, you should be here following us, listening to us. We are here Saturday. The Book of Man Saturday conversation. It is I, Jay Seals, the Lion, and I am here with none other than the Doc. Doc, how you doing this morning, brother?
Man, what's up, man? What's up? You know where I'm not at. I'm not at the timeshare.
We know that for 100% fact. I don't know, Doc. I'm gonna trick you one time. I'm gonna invite you out. It's gonna be a timeshare, but you ain't gonna know. You just gonna enjoy it.
I told you, I'm gonna try it, man. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna talk to the wife, man. She said she ain't taking me to places no more. But we gonna try it one day.
You can come. You just can't go to the showcase. you can come to the resort and enjoy the resort. You just can't come to the showcase. I go to the showcase. Look, okay, you just come and enjoy the resort.
I'm telling you what, they gonna put us out, boy. I'm telling you, they gonna put us out. You gonna never be able to go back no more.
It is what it is. You just do like I did one time. You got to go in there with somebody you don't even know and just get out of there. Get the free trip. You just want the free hotel, man. That's it.
Look, last time I went, they tried to isolate us. They put us on a van and took us way up in the mountains. You can't even leave. They had to bring the van for you to go. Really?
They separate you from the. Hey, that's a good strategy, though. That's a good. I respect the tactics. I just think I'm better than the tactics.
Man, it been black bears out there and all. You ain't even want to walk.
Some people look at that. That's exciting for some folks, man. So Doc, it's Saturday. This the weekend following Father's Day. Fellas, I hope all y'all got nice gifts. Hope the ladies took care of you. We told you about some things we did want last weekend. I hope all of y'all got taken care of in the way that y'all thought fit. For all the fellas that's out there doing your job as men, man, we appreciate you. Keep doing what you do. Also, while you're here, like, share, subscribe, comment. All of that's free. It's free. You don't take nothing but a minute. Do all of that. Help us get out there to push us up in the algorithm. We sure appreciate you. If you like what we're saying, think we're saying something good, let us know. You don't like what we're saying, think we're wrong, let us know that too. We respect all of it. So what we got for them this weekend, Doc?
Oh man, so today, you know, it's a lot of good stuff on TikTok. You know, it was made for the kids and they do all that, but when you get through it, there's a lot of good stuff on there, man, and a lot of things that people say that you may have always been thinking. So we got this one today. Let me make it so we can see it. The wrong side going. Oh, I got to make it smaller. That's what I got to do. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So you see this one right here, right? Let's say men, they got the zip up mouth and our heads a bandage. This is Pastor T.D. Jakes, and he is
What do you do when you can't solve it with your arm and your might and your machoism and your strength or your degrees or your intellect or your perception, whatever it is that makes you Superman? What do you do when the S on your shirt has faded? Can a brother get tired? What do you do when you get tired in the middle of the journey and you can't tell anybody you're tired? Because what would they think of you if they found out you were tired? God forbid that you got tired. You're the hero. You're the one that everybody in the family looks to. I came to talk to the man who's not being appreciated, and you got to the middle of your life and you feel so used and unappreciated. You've been there for everybody but yourself, and you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you are frustrated at the end of your rope because people just think you're Houdini and you just do magic, and they don't know that you are tired, and you don't know what to do about it because you don't even want to admit to anybody that you are tired. I want to talk to you.
Man.
Look, I feel this one on a lot of different levels. First off, you know, as a man, you know, I take care of my family. It's inevitable. You're going to get tired. There's going to be times when you're not going to know what to do, and you still got to fake it like you do.
Man, okay. I'll just nod my head because we all done had the moments, and I never forget when the moment I realized that my dad was trying and he was just kind of figuring it out as he go. You know, I look back and I'm like, ooh, I remember when my dad was my age. You know, he's like 70 now, but I can remember when he was my age.
Right.
And I'm here trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh goodness, I think he was trying to figure it out too.
He absolutely was. He absolutely not. We have at best a blueprint. That the lucky amongst us have a blueprint because, you know, like yourself, you were lucky enough to be raised in the house with a father.
That's so right.
You know, on that note, you know, you're lucky enough to have a blueprint. A lot of us don't even have that.
But and that's true. And you know what? And I mean, I know we can go into why that is.
We don't need to go into why it is.
We don't have, but it is. I mean, yeah, I don't.
It is. We've accepted that it is, and I think for a lot of us, I know for myself, I make it a point to make sure it does not have to be for my children.
Right.
So, and that's where I'm rolling from. You know, the situations that have caused the community to be in the situation, the status that it is. We've gone over that. It's been talked about ad nauseum everywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired.
You know, what I want to talk about now is for the men out here that are putting in the real effort to raise and secure their family. Brother, I know you're tired, and I respect that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's something being a leader in the household,
Hmm.
being a father and a husband or, whatever role you play. That's everyone is different. Like every situation is different. So even if it's a blueprint, that blueprint so vague is crazy because the steps might not work. One thing my dad told me, he said, you know what? Whatever work in my house, it might not work in your house.
It might not,
It
because
might not work.
your children are different. Your expenses are different.
The times, the society is different
Very.
in
Like I said,
itself.
those of us lucky enough to have a blueprint at best, that's all it is. It's a loose blueprint. It's damn near even a blueprint. It's damn near what you call it when you're writing. It's damn near outline.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
brainstorm. It might just be a brainstorm.
Man, you just know you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to go to work and take care of stuff. That's it.
That's it.
I was telling my son, and I don't remember if I told you this story or not, man, but one time we went to Mexico, right? And they had this thing, you do the ATV through the woods, you go through there, they take you to a beach. You get on the beach, like these little tiny speedboats. It was fun. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. But we sitting out there and they going over the rules, right? And all of a sudden, just my family, they get up and walk off. Well, they kind of ran off. And I'm looking like, what in the world? But I looked and I saw it was a wasp that was flying around the area, right? And they was like, yeah, Dad, you just always sit there. You don't do this stuff. You don't. I'm like, nah. And this is what I told my son. I said, you can't run.
Nope.
You can't run because you got people counting on you. And if you can't run with, how you going to be a leader? You running with them.
Nope. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Can't.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And hence your son's going to have a blueprint because he gets to see you. Mm-hmm. That's a lesson he learned that some won't learn until later in life. When things start going, even though that was small and just a wasp or whatever, but in life it's going to be other times when things going to go hard. It's going to be rough. And you as a man has to say, all right, this is where I'm gonna stand at. This is the ground I'm gonna stand on, and you got to make it happen.
You know what? It's like as a man, we have to FFD, face fears daily.
Yes, sir.
You got to face fears daily, and you got to look them down in the eye. And on the outside, you can't, even if you are scared, and they can see you scared, but you can't stop.
No.
And that is the key. You can show fear, you can show worry, but you can't be paralyzed by it.
Nope.
You absolutely cannot, because people counting on you to keep moving.
And even in the show fear and show worry, you have to be careful about who you show that to.
Yeah.
And who you show it to and when you show it. You know the best time to show worry? After you succeeded.
After it's done.
Woo, I was worried about that. What? Everybody around you, you worried? Yeah, I was worried. Why nobody could tell. That's on purpose.
Yep, you just keep on. I mean, that's in the 48 laws of power too. And I don't remember what law it was, but I know we went over that about, being selective in the emotions that you show.
Yes, definitely. I think that was, that's actually covered directly in the chapter. And I think it gets hinted on and touched on multiple times throughout the book, because so much of it is about being in control of your emotions and controlling the idea of yourself, the image of yourself, your reputation. And I think so many of those skills that we picked up in 48 Laws of Power, that we talked about or picked up in 40 Laws of Power, go so great for just how to carry yourself as a man.
Yeah, because you have control over your life.
Right.
And
that's the biggest thing I'm taking from it. That's the biggest thing I'm taking from 48 Laws is having control.
Now that's OG right there.
Yeah, he's right.
Learn from fear, use it as fuel.
Right.
Yep.
I'll give you an example of that people use in practical life. Motorcycle riders. motorcycle riders, almost every motorcycle rider I've ever talked to says, when you're no longer afraid of the bike, it's when it's time to get off.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Because that means you're gonna do something stupid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if you're no longer afraid of the bike you're on, it's time to buy a bigger bike or just get off.
Mm-hmm.
You should always have a little bit of fear, because that's gonna keep you in line when it's talking about something like a bike. And I think it works the same way in a family. You should always have a little bit of fear of what can happen in your family, or what this might happen, or this might happen, because that's gonna make you pay attention.
Yeah, you got to. Fear is not necessarily a bad thing. It's the body's response,
Right.
to preserve itself.
Correct.
And that's what we have to do. But here's the thing, though. And he said something that stood out to me, and I always talk about this because this is our weak point. He said, what do you do when your muscles can't fix it? Your degrees can't fix it? What do you do? That's the stuff we used to fighting with.
Yeah.
But what do you do when none of that work, when you can't? How do you deal with that?
Well, if you are a man of God, a religious man, then you pray.
Uh-huh.
And if you are a worldly man, then the advice I would give is find a man who's been through something similar and ask for advice.
So
and then sometimes you got to try. When everything isn't working, you got to try some things you don't know.
That's true. And you know what? And what that is that sometimes you have to rely on something that's bigger than you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rely on something because you don't have the answers to every problem.
Right. We all have limitations. We're limited by our life experience. We're limited by our income. We're limited by our education. We're limited by our physical situation, whatever that might be, whatever, too small, too big, whatever. There's a limit. There's a limit to you somewhere. Nobody has everything figured out. Some of us are emotionally immature, or unavailable. Spiritually depleted. We all have a shortcoming somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's that 3 parts of a man: the mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. And
when they are all at a high level, it's like spinning plates. It's not gonna last long.
Nope.
You spin all 3 plates, and it's gonna last for about a couple seconds, and then something's gonna start wobbling. That's what life is.
That's what life is. You got to spin it again. You got to put something else on it. You got to keep working on it. You got to keep doing it here, keep doing it here. Take your little break when you get it and get right back to it.
Mm-hmm. It made me think about, he said something about the Superman symbol being faded. And here's the funny thing. And I think I did a video about this, and I know we interviewed Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And he may be watching. I don't know, man. But see, he is the perfect example of what this man is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You have a man who was struck down with MS. His body stopped working.
Yeah.
He can't fight that no other way but to go inside. And being scared and everything else, and he's still going.
Hey, it takes something.
We have to be adaptable. When we go through stuff, that's how you get stronger. But you got to go through it first.
Yep.
And try to prepare yourself.
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
I can see that.
So OG say the bike isn't something to be scared of. It's the other drivers that worry and scare me.
That's still gonna keep you on your toes. That's still gonna keep you aware of your surroundings and what's going on, and make you act and make you manage yourself. Which is the main thing is we have to manage ourselves. And there's things that we as men have failed to manage ourselves, or we're not taught to manage younger in life, that make some of the things we have to do later in life harder. But you have to have that little bit of concern in everything you're doing, because it's going to force you to pay attention. Now, you can be the greatest basketball player in the world, but you still got to watch film, because the other guy get paid to do this too.
Yeah, and that's true. I think it's becoming too comfortable with life.
Hmm.
That's what I equate it to.
Yeah,
When you become too comfortable with things, then the small things that you would normally pay attention to,
you
you
stop.
don't.
Yep,
You don't. You get too comfortable with life,
yep.
and all too
And
often we do that.
very often, and we just gotta keep. You just gotta. As far as what Pastor Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes was talking about, this is somebody I'll admit. I
That's
didn't.
Frank. That's
I
Frank.
didn't. I didn't really hear or know a lot about TDJ. I mean, I heard his name, knew who he was,
Mm,
but I hadn't listened to a lot of his stuff
right.
until like TikTok and Reels and things like that started becoming more popular. And I was like, oh, okay, this guy really, even though I'm not the most religious man, I still agree with a lot of the things he was talking. Matter of fact, we talked about something else he said on this channel before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's really, really a deep brother. And I would tell any man, take some time and listen to some of the things he said, because you're gonna learn something. Maybe not everything, but you're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
Um,
It's. I mean, with that. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Oh yeah, that's brother Frank in the house. We were talking about you, bro. I don't know if you heard it or not, but we was. But I guess the thing about that, and I think we need to do another church show, another religious show. That was good last time.
yeah.
One thing I have learned through the years of studying that stuff and looking at the world and doing my own studies, I've concluded that everything is connected.
Okay.
Everything. And what made me realize it was when I was studying a certain subject, and the pastor said one thing, the pimps on the corner said one thing, the drug dealer said one thing, the police said one thing, the corporate people said one thing. And when you boiled it all down, all of them were saying the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, everything is connected.
Yeah. It's all about how it's worded or how it's articulated.
Mm.
But a lot of times it comes down to the same thing. I think one of the best examples of that was Ice-T was talking. I forget what he was on, but he was talking about when he signed his first record deal.
Right.
And he says he goes into the record office and he tells the guy, yeah, man, he said, I don't have no albums yet. I just got a little bit of buzz in the city. And he tells the guy, man, I got these albums, I got these songs ready, man. You give me this amount of money, I put this album and get it done, and we can put it out and we can do this. And the guy said, why don't you let me hear some of it first? He said, listen, if I was selling grenades to you in the alley, I don't let you test my grenades. Either you believe I have good grenades, or you don't. And the guy said, oh, you must have went to business school. He said, nah, but I have sold grenades in the alley before. So it's the same principle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the same principle. Whether you selling grenades in the alley or you in the boardroom, it's the same. Do I have something you want? Do you believe what I have is valuable? And can I as a man convince you what you want I have at a high level? And that's just what it is. It never changes. It's the same things we do in the street, same things we do in the country, the same things we do in the boardroom and the corporate and the city, all the same. We just got different definitions on them. We got different ways of saying it.
What I'm going to say is this, that we miss out on a lot of knowledge because of where the message is coming from.
Yes.
We miss out on a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because of where the message is coming from.
Yeah, we get in our feelings. And yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this is connected back to what you said when I asked that question. What do you do when your muscles don't work, your degrees don't work, and you got to fix something?
Yep.
And you rely on something bigger than you. The message is that, because some people will say, well, because they see TD Jakes, oh, that's he in the church, so he a scammer. I ain't gonna listen to him.
Right.
But that ain't it. It's the message you're trying to get. That's the goal.
Well, as people, one of the first things we do, and I think like this goes back to what you're saying, who's the messenger, is who is he? Well, How much money he got? Or what did he do? Or is he married? Is she married? How's she gonna tell me about how he or she gonna tell me about how to treat a man or a woman and they ain't even married and all that kind of stuff. Whether the first thing we do is try to devalue the source, regardless of our quality, instead of saying, is this information valid?
That's right. You know, it made me think about this. I saw a post and I had commented on it. And the guy said he was talking about his mother was telling him about Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that was white said, well, your mother was never a slave. How would she know?
Oh, wow.
We doing the same thing with that's what we saying. Because it's easy for us to say, yeah, my mother never been a slave, but guess what? I'm only 3 generations away from that.
Exactly.
So we do the same thing when we judge the message. It's the message. So when you stuck, and like you said, do something that's that you normally don't do, it's time to reach out for some help, man. Talk to one of your brothers. Do any of that.
And I think that's one of the things, you know, I want to make sure it's clear on this platform. We are here. Reach out. Go in the group. Hey, I got a question. I'm working on. I'm dealing with this. I'm struggling with this. I want men to know, 1, it's a safe place, and 2, you ain't out here by yourself. Because I know we feel like that sometimes. I feel like that sometimes. You feel like you're all alone, and it's really sad because we can be in a relationship, have children, have close family who love us more than anything. We can't even quantify how much they love us, and we still sit here and act like we're alone because the world has told us we are.
Well, between that and you know what, people don't understand. Other like our significant others, our children don't get it.
Right.
They don't understand why you can't run. They don't get it.
What do you think? Again, that's why we got to constantly. I think it's important for us to create areas where men can say, "I know I can't say this to my girl. I know I can't say this to my children, but you know I can go reach out to the fellas and maybe get an answer I want." I think male friendship. I bet if we did a study somewhere, you do more. You look into the studies more than I do. I bet if we did a study somewhere, men probably have less friends now than at any point in history.
Probably so.
You know, we are probably at a point in time where men get together and hang out and talk and discuss amongst themselves less than at any point in history. We know the ladies do it. They let us know every weekend. They at brunch. They out with their girls. You can't stop it. They out. They going on girls trips and all of that. Fellas, you don't see it as much. You rarely see men going out, going traveling together, or you don't see a bunch of posts of men hanging out unless it's a specific thing. Like you might see the biker boys hang out once a month or something like that. If it ain't a specific hobby, you never hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we do that, but you know what we do all the time? Go to work.
Oh yeah, we go to work now. You go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that is that same old thing we talked about before, which is putting your own needs on the back burner. So you go to work, you get a job, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Then you got to give your family a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you do those two things, it's very limited time because you still got to sleep. The only time you get for yourself is your rest.
Yeah, that's it.
By the time you give your family something and your job something, you don't have that much time to yourself, especially unless you're gonna make a serious effort to create that time for yourself.
It's like we say, when people say we give 110%, you can't give 110% because you only got 100% of you.
That's it.
And right now, we give 80% of that to the job. And that's 20% left for everything else, including sleeping and eating.
And yeah. And what's the trip is, back to that same old thing. If I give less to the job, in a way, I'm also giving less to the family because now I can contribute the way I was contributing before. So it's always a fine line. And then you say, okay, well, go get yourself some more education or some more training so you can make more money. But that takes time, the energy too.
Oh yeah. I mean, for the past 6 years, I've been doing it. 6 years, man, just trying to do this thing so we can have more money. Now, all right, what we got here?
They doing my stuff. They doing my stuff. They just rang the doorbell. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
you better go grab it, man.
Hey,
So, OG said, I believe we need to teach the next generation to be strong and proud, but also teach them to know when and who to ask for help. Okay. I mean, and that's true. It's part of teaching our boys how to navigate life. You know, be okay being a boy, being a male. Be okay with that. And just know that you have to go through stuff like that. But yeah, but I like the last part, teach them to know when and who to ask for help. And sometimes, you know what? Help looks different. Sometimes help is this somebody listening to you like, man, look, I'm dealing with this, and this. I mean, I can say that for a fact. That's what happened to me. You know, I had a homeboy I reached out to and said, hey, man, look, this is what's going on. And I told him everything. But
let me ask you this, Doc.
Yep.
How long were you dealing with that? How long were you feeling like you were by yourself before you finally reached out?
You know what? This was the dangerous part about it. I had been in it so long. It's like at first I didn't even know I was in it. And it wore on for so long. And they got like, by the time you notice it, it's already too late. I mean, I would probably say about a year.
Wow, look, think of that, Doc.
Probably more.
A whole year of your life, you spent overstressing.
Yep.
You know, probably spend a lot of nights worried, not knowing what you was going to do, uptight, high stress, high blood pressure, all kind of stuff for a whole year. You damn near lost a whole year of your quality of life. That's a lot of money.
Look, I lost a lot of black hair too.
It's a lot of men going through that, man. They're just in this permanent funk about what they're gonna do and how they're gonna figure this out and figure that out, and they limping along half a person.
Yeah,
because we will reach out.
But here's the thing, though. Look at how we choose to fix that problem by going back to work.
Yeah.
So you fall back on what you know how to do, and that's connected to what TD Jakes said: when your muscles don't work,
right,
and your degrees don't work. You know, some people, I just pick up extra hours. All you're doing is distracting yourself from the true problem.
Yep.
For instance, we're going to say this. They say, oh, yeah, fam, we need money. We got to work for money.
Yeah.
And you go work more. When the problem was you didn't need more money. You know what you need? To start spending less money. Learn some financial stuff, you know. So using our muscles and these other things that we used to doing is a band-aid for the true problem, because those are the only tools we have. We need to expand those tools, like you were saying, into something else.
You have to.
Yep. Stay in tune with your star player. Yep.
And I think I like that. Stay in tune with your star player. I think a lot of men don't even realize they are their own star player. They make the wife the star player. They make the kids the star player. They don't even realize they the star player in their own game.
Yeah.
And society will tell you that the women are the most important, the kids are the most important. No, sir. You are the most important player in your. You are the main character in your story. You the protagonist.
There you go. There you go. Because we don't. You know why? Oh gosh, I'm about to say this. It's very difficult for us to look at ourselves.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for us to look in the mirror and, just like, oh man, y'all should have been there Thursday night, whatever, man. Whoo, that chapter was rough, but it was about this
Yeah.
self-introspection. And a lot of dudes, well, one, they won't do it. Two, they don't know how to do it, or they don't even know it exists. And
Well,
I think it's more the second one. We don't know how. We just on autopilot. You know, you just go do.
I think, yes, I agree, but that's because we are so often defined by what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not about who we are. The first questions about a man that other people ask about a man are so rarely about who he really is. They're often the first question, oh, what does he do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what kind of car does he drive? Where does he live? Who does he know? What doors can they open for me? It's rarely about are they a good person? Do they have good integrity? Do they have integrity? Do they have a belief system? Are they built in? Are they based on something that's good for themselves and for the world? These are the questions we ask about men.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out here then. Yes, society says that, but guess who else say that?
We do.
Yep, we say it first.
Yeah.
Because if somebody asks you to tell me about yourself, most times, most of us gonna say what we do for work.
Yep.
That's the first thing that's gonna come out.
Yep. That's because we know that's what people really, because they really judge on how much they need to.
You know, that's the bouginess talking.
That's OG.
Yep. You know he always gonna say something like that. OG, I still got your sound coming up, man. I just ain't had time to get to it. I'm gonna get you one though.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. We really don't take the time to, like you say, develop our. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for to develop that self-worth. Really, it really.
Well, I would even say knowing self-introspection. You know, knowing yourself, just knowing you, because we don't know. A lot of people don't know themselves, and like we talked about on the book study the other day, I think as a man, as a leader, somebody in a powerful position, and that's in your house.
Yeah.
You need to know everything. You need to know what things set you off. You need to know what things make you happy. You need to know how it feels when you are afraid, because fear leads to paralyzation. It leaves you paralyzed. You got to know all of that stuff so you can head it off before it happens, so you can be the most effective man you can be in your life.
I agree.
But a lot of us playing defensive life, you know, and I said this before, you know, people say that defense wins games, and I'll say that's false, because the best thing you can get in a defensive game is a tie score. But you got to live an offensive life, not a defensive life, so you can make things happen. You can call your own plays and then do it, instead of letting the defense come and then you trying to read the field afterwards. Create your own stuff.
Yep. And I just want men to, fellas, take a vacation, man. You know, take a vacation, take some time to figure out what you really want to do, and who you really want to be. So you don't just, you're gonna have worries and trials and all that kind of stuff, but at least it'll be towards you building something for yourself. Because you are your star player. You the superstar. You the 5-star recruit. You all of that. You all of that stuff right there. I mean, you the guy.
You know, it make me think of what I tell these boys all the time at the school. And I tell them, you are the king of you.
Yeah.
You are the king of you. You control what goes in, what comes out. You control everything. You control your emotions. You are the king of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And men need to know that, you know, and they need to be in control of themselves and find more value in themselves than just going to work. I know that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. It's easy to get up and go to work. It ain't. It's simple. I ain't gonna say it's easy. It's simple to get up and go to work.
Uh-huh.
But we got to be more than that, fellas.
Look,
Your
you know what's hard? It's hard for them to take a day off. It's hard for them to take a day off to go to the doctor. I'm still gonna talk about that one, man.
And I'm just as guilty as all of y'all, brother.
I used to be
just as guilty as all of y'all. I know.
Going to work sick. Hey, being a teacher taught me that. Being a teacher taught me, when you sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home. Because you ain't helping nobody. Man, you might as well sit on there and go to sleep. Look, a lot of men don't know how to relax. Yep, that's OG right there. And you know what? That is you, bro. Because you'll go ahead and work 18 hours a day and come home and cook a 4-course meal.
A lot of men feel like if they're not doing something, they ain't doing nothing. And sometimes doing nothing is exactly what you need.
Yeah. You know what? I figured that out. That I was working hard but not doing nothing.
Yep.
Because I felt like it's different. I felt like things weren't moving in my life the way I wanted to. And my solution was to work harder.
Yeah.
But that's not smart. The smart thing to do is to figure out how to work and then do that. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And there you go. Look, it's hard to practice what you preach. Yep, it is.
It is. It definitely is.
Man, that's the toughest thing ever. But you know what? It's not impossible.
Nope.
It's not impossible, because I think that being a leader in your household, of course, you have to lead by your words, but you got to lead by your actions too.
Yep. Definitely.
And for me, I don't want my son to be, all of us want our sons and daughters to be better than us.
Yep.
But we got to show them how. And that's part of self-introspection, is knowing where your weaknesses are and trying to fix them or compensate for them so your kids can know.
Doc, I gotta ask you because I know you study, you read, and you up on things. So they overturn. I'm changing this to you. I'm changing gears.
Okay, all right, then let's go.
Roe v. Wade.
Let's go.
They overturned the Roe v. Wade. How you feel about that? Personally, my whole take on abortion is, that's a woman's choice. I'm out of it. I'm a man. That ain't my argument. My goal as a man is not impregnate a woman I don't want to have kids with. The end. That's my whole part in that. Make sure I don't get a woman pregnant I don't want to have kids with. Because I know it's her choice whether she want to keep it or not. I put myself in a defensive position, and we try to live offensive out here. So, what is your perspective on this, Doc? As a learned man, I would love to hear.
Wow, I've been trying to avoid this because I'm in a huge gray area on this.
Okay.
Because there's so many parts of me that weigh in on this.
Yeah.
Let me go back. I'm gonna say this. I think it's fallacy for us to take complex things and try to make them simple. It's not just one thing or another thing. And this is one of those increasingly complex topics that people try to make simple. Either you believe this or this, and that's not what the case is. All right. First thing. They didn't say it was completely illegal. They just said that the states get to choose.
Correct.
So, okay, that's one thing.
Yeah, they overturned Roe v. Wade, which said federally is legal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they did. And then now it's overturning that and it's saying that, hey, every state has their right to choose whether to allow abortion or not.
So, all right, now here's the other part. And within all this, I'm not gonna give a straight answer. Okay. I'm just gonna take y'all down my realm of thinking. Number one, as a Christian man and somebody who is in the ministry, can I support knowingly killing a baby? Don't know. Second part to that, I believe that everyone has to answer for their own actions.
I agree with that. That's true.
When I say that, if you a lady and you aborted a baby, that's up between you and God. When that day come, You got to answer for that. I don't have to answer for that. So you know that's another part of it.
And that's why I say, as a man, I'm out of it because I don't have to answer for it.
But then at the same time, you get this one though. Then I think about, and I've seen people talk about this. You know, they use that as contraceptive. They go out there and have a good time, and I just have an abortion.
Yeah,
that's not cool. You just then at that point you are subsidizing bad behavior.
Yeah. I agree that it should not be used as a form of contraceptive. I think if a woman has had 3, 4, 5 abortions or something, at some point somebody should be like, hey, it should be some counseling or something that go on because clearly she's making bad life decisions. It should be at the very least the abortion clinic should say you need to have verified 3 weeks.
You wouldn't. Yeah, I think that and again, it's not a simple thing. Like for instance, in terms of somebody who was sexually assaulted, you know what I'm saying? That I don't, they shouldn't have to carry that baby. Or somebody who was a victim of incest. Okay, I get that one too. What I think should happen is, I guess the same thing I say with other stuff. It should be legal, but it shouldn't be real easy to get it done.
Right.
You should have to jump through some hoops for it. And I'm gonna tell you this, I don't want to have to pay for it. I don't want my tax dollars to go pay for it.
Oh no, I think you have to pay out your pocket. I mean, either your medical insurance or whatever. I think, but that's fine if it's through your insurance or whatever. But I definitely think it should be. To me, it's an elective surgery. And if you choose to do it, because if there's not a health risk involved, with a doctor saying, hey, if you don't, you got to make a decision between you or the baby. Then that's a your choice thing. Yeah, I agree with you having that choice, but yeah, I also agree that the tax dollars shouldn't have to pay for it. Well, at the same time, your tax dollars paying for having these babies that's born anyway.
But that's true. That's true. That is so true. But
it's cheap.
I'm not going to say, hey, you go ahead and use it for whatever you want. They're going to do it anyway, but I'm going to say something about it. But I also think that, oh man, this is a rough one because, yeah. All right. My final answer is whatever they choose to do between you and God, you got to deal with that. But then what about this? What about this? And I hear this on the men's channels a lot of times. Somebody get pregnant, the man want to have the baby, the lady don't. Does the man have any rights in that?
I think in the choice, and the choice of fairness. You're talking about fairness. Yep. Yes, he should have some right, but I think the woman should have the right to relinquish her parental duties to that dude.
Look at that. I dated one girl. She told me it was easier to have an abortion than to get her tubes tied.
Damn.
Yeah. Now, and that's another one too, because if you do that, like if you married, then the husband and the wife got to sign off on it, and it's just all kinds of stuff. I do think it need to be a revamp of that, because at some point, yeah, people do got say so over their own body. I get that. I'm with that. All right. What about this one? There was a case, I just saw it, that a teenage boy was assaulted by a teacher, right? She got pregnant.
Okay.
She didn't abort the baby. She had the baby.
Right.
As soon as he turned 21, she put him on child support. And the courts allowed it.
That should be illegal. If you as a woman have a relationship with an underage man, and as a result of that is pregnancy, that boy is at no point responsible for that child. Because if he was legally, by whatever state, whatever area he lived in, if he legally could not consent to sex, he was not legally able to consent to raising a child.
Exactly.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So if she was convicted of sexual assault of a minor, or statutory rape or whatever. Because the whole idea of that is you cannot legally consent to sex. So
Bro,
if you can't consent to sex, you definitely cannot raise a child. And you should never.
This is real. That's a real thing that happened.
I 100% know it happened. I saw the same article you're talking about. I know it happened, and I think that's a damn shame. But let's take it back to, okay, so what if a woman gets pregnant and she wants to keep the baby and the man doesn't?
Right.
We know for 100% fact the man is responsible financially still to that child, right?
Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
He should have to sign over his rights and not do with it.
Right. So that's why I think it's fair on the other end that if a woman wants to get rid of a child and the man wants a child, she should have to give birth to that child and turn the child over to the man.
I agree. I agree.
Because again, you both consented to the sex. So unless she was raped, I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I forgot you can't say that on
RP3.
Yeah, unless that happened to her, then I feel it's a touchy subject.
It is.
I don't think they should have. I'm going to say I don't think they should have overturned it. I believe a person has a right to choose whether or not they want to go full term and carry a baby, because there are more risk for a woman. There's no risk for men. We don't carry.
That's true. That's true.
Women have a lot of things that come with carrying a child.
Oh yeah, I know. That changes them on a fundamental level.
If they decide to have the child and want to keep the child, they gotta take maternity leave. It slows them down in their careers if they want to do careers.
Well, just imagine this. I know when my wife was pregnant, I mean, it's like, the senses get heightened, your sense of smell not the same, which I told y'all that funny story. But, and they never return.
Right.
It's like pregnancy changed you, but you never come back to what you was. And again, this is what I say too about it being a complex thing, that I think it needs to be, case by case.
Right.
But of course, like Jamel said right here, that's hard to force her to carry the term. Yep.
I agree it's hard. I don't think it can really be done. I just said in the interest of fairness.
Yeah.
In the interest of fairness. I don't really see how you can really get it done. I don't know if it's even legal to make a woman do it. I don't think it can be any way to make it legal. But in the interest of fairness, it was something I would like to see out of fairness. But
then the thing I don't like, two things. First, I think that the longer, closer it gets to the end of the term, the harder it should be to get it.
Okay.
So, first trimester, okay. Second trimester is a lot harder. And when they get way up there, you got to have a medical necessity to get it.
Well, I think it's kind of like that now. I know after a certain amount of months anywhere, you can't get one anyway.
Certain amount. That's how it should be.
After a certain amount, I agree with that. A certain amount of weeks you shouldn't be able to get one, because at that point, that's in my opinion, that's a living child, and you can walk away. I agree with, like they say, when a woman could just leave the baby at the hospital without consequence, or leave it at the fire station without consequence. I don't have an issue with that, even though I know the system is, the system is terrible. It's not a good place for a child to be in the system. But I'd rather that be out there as an option for a young woman than just trying to murder the baby or get rid of the baby.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said, it's a big gray area, man. And I do think that what I don't like is when they say that you're a man, so you shouldn't have a say so. I don't agree with that.
I think in general that is correct. I mean, as far as I feel like that's a woman's issue, because they carry all the risk in the childbearing. So that to me that is one issue. I think it only matters as a man if it's your child. That is the only time your opinion really matters. Outside of it being your child, I agree with that. Now, if it's your child, that's different. That's a discussion between you and that woman. But
look though. But the way the stuff is and what they're saying is, you won't have a discussion between you and that woman. That won't even be a factor because you have nothing to do with that. So that's what I'm saying. Like the big things affect the small things.
Yes, and listen again. That's why I said it the way I said it. I think the woman should have to present to that man, and only that man. Like, and her and that, whatever. Now, do I still believe it should be overall her choice? Yes, but no, I don't think the world has any say so in that. I think the two people that made that child are the only people that got any say so. And then I do believe the woman should have the last right because she carries all the risk.
I do agree with that. Like they should have the controlling interest. Like it should be a 49-51 split. You know what I'm saying? Like the man got 49, but then the 51, the majority goes to the person who had to do all the work. I get that.
She got all the risk. She got all the risk. He can voice his opinion, and his opinion should be respected and listened to because that's his child technically or whatever. But she carries all the risk, and she's going to suffer the most consequences, at least initially.
I agree. I will agree with that.
Medically, physically, she suffers all the consequences.
Yeah, so, and we've seen it. We've seen it. I mean, I will straight up say that. My wife, we had 2 kids, and she not the same. Yeah, not the same at all.
When the last time a man died during childbirth? Not never.
Well, you ever been there? Hey, you ever been there and they had to squeeze your hand? Bro, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't hold their hand while they push. Don't do it. Or if you do it, you got to make sure your hand is limp because you won't have one. And don't look below the curtain. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. They tell you to do it. Don't do it, bro. It will scar you forever.
Don't do it. Don't look below the curtain. That ain't what you want. I will say that. Don't look below the curtain. But
let's look at this.
Okay.
Women want the right to choose, but they have made a ton of choices that lead to the baby being conceived. Where's the personal responsibility for those choices? But she got another comment here, but let's talk about this real quick. I think that it's true. It's true. Personal responsibility is a big thing these days. And I guess I wonder what percentage of them actually are from stuff like this.
The majority of I believe the
let's see the numbers.
I got raped or blah 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 whatever. That can't be more than 5%.
Right.
Just because it doesn't happen enough to be that high quantity. So most of it is from the personal choices that a woman has made. I agree wholeheartedly with that. But at the same time, I still believe that they have the right to, even whatever those choices were, decisions were made, that is between the two people. And I still believe that if a woman says, I can't go through with this, that's her choice. First off, the woman in large part can get more for having a child than the man ever will. Like as government assistance, child support. The system is out there in place to help a woman far more than it is to help a man. So the choice, while I think is a difficult choice, especially for a young woman, high school to early college age is I can definitely see what women's like, I'm not doing that right now. I still got whatever I'm trying to accomplish or go after, do in my life that I want to do. And I don't care who you are, a child changes everything.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing, and people, this might sound crazy. And if you think about it, it's not crazy. The psychological damage that people are doing to themselves every day leads to stuff like this.
Yep.
When you abort a baby, people, even all them people say, yeah, it's easier to have this than do that. They'll go through it, but they don't forget about that psychological scar that you putting on yourself. I mean,
how about this as an idea, as a concept? Have you ever heard of Freakonomics?
Who?
Freakonomics.
I've heard of that before, but go ahead and throw it out there again.
Okay, Freakonomics is a book written by some economists, and they just study different things over time. So one of the things they studied was countries where abortion was legal,
Right.
and then became illegal.
Okay.
In every one of those countries, 15 to 20 years later, they had an exponential increase in crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they went and did it anyway.
Because as a result of unwanted children, the majority of the criminals were born to unwanted children. So there's a direct correlation between illegal criminalizing abortion,
right,
and the crime rate increasing in 15 to 20 years.
And it shouldn't be illegal. It shouldn't be. So this is the second comment he said. They do have consequences. That's why women used to only sleep with men they were willing to suffer those consequences for.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna play a devil's advocate again. Maybe them, making it, no longer federally legal for the abortion to take place. Maybe that will increase people's use of all the contraceptives that are out there. Maybe more women will get on birth control. Maybe more men will use condoms. Maybe those things will increase, which will make for a healthier society. Maybe women will make better decisions about who they sleep with. Now, I don't necessarily think all that's going to happen, but maybe that's the goal behind it.
Man, the problem is, and the problem is, our population is decreasing, especially of non-minority people, and because they're the ones that's getting all these abortions, and that's why they're trying to have it going. But
I wasn't going to bring that up, but since you did, yes, I agree, sir. It is definitely about population trying to prevent the population from decreasing, because they try to make it seem like it's the sisters is getting all the abortions. It is not. We know who it is. It's Becky that can't tell her daddy.
Yep.
That's getting all the abortions.
And that's why they're trying to shut it down.
We know who it is. The black women can't get the most abortions and be the most on child support and be the most on government assistance and got the most unwanted children and having children out of wedlock, and we getting the most abortions. That don't add up.
No, it don't. And and that's what it is.
We can't be all of them. So,
but look at this. My issue is simple. When does that baby get a soul? When is it a personal choice versus murdering a baby? I wish we knew for sure when it happened. Yep, and that's true. That's why I said earlier that I truly believe that people have to answer for what they do. At the end of life, you got to answer for what you do.
That's what you do. Well, let me ask you this, Doc. Since we're in America, in this country, what's more important? On this subject of soul and the baby and all of that, what's more important? Is money more important or people?
Oh, shoot. You already know.
Yeah. So no one cares really about
you already know. We're a capitalistic society. Everything is based on money. Matter of fact, and I think I told y'all about a thing called an actuary. An actuary is an insurance professional who assigns dollar values to everything, even people.
Yep. So I don't think in general people care about when the soul comes into the body and all of that kind of stuff. While I think that is important, I don't think that came up as a big issue here, even though they played it like it was.
Oh, I know it. They got their own things.
It's about body count. I think it's about trying to ensure the non-ethnic population, the non-people of color population doesn't continue to decrease at the rate in which it is.
Like I'll say this, man. This is a byproduct of our own creation. And when I say our own, humans in general, especially United States in general, morals and ethics have a place, but they've been ignored, thrown out, or no, people. I don't want to go there. I ain't gonna go there. But they've knowingly separated themselves from morals and ethics.
Yes.
They've made a tear. And you ever notice that anytime you did something wrong, you had that feeling like, oh, this wrong, and then you don't really do it no more?
Yep.
Oh, he said go there. Okay. All right, then. So, all right, you do something wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or you do something you didn't want to do. and you had that feeling like, ooh, you feel icky and you know this wrong, and usually you don't do it again.
Yep.
Well, what happens is people do it again, right? And then that feeling get a little bit less.
Yeah.
And then they do it again and they get a little bit less. And they do it again and now it's not there anymore. That's what has happened with society in general, especially with in regards to this.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you this. We say that, okay, you know what, you can have sex with whoever you want, you can do all this stuff, but what has happened is those people have created a separation within themselves every time they did it. And it got to the point where they kept ignoring it so much they used to it. So now it's nothing. They just do whatever. That's where the separation between the morals and the ethics and the person has happened. They rip their souls to the point to where now it's a scar and they don't feel it anymore. We have those feelings and emotions for a reason. That's to keep us out of trouble. And that's why we are where we are. Because of that, we've ripped and torn asunder the small pieces of ourselves and give it away. And society is telling us that we're supposed to do it. And they're telling us to ignore all of this stuff that we ripping ourselves up. I mean, it's like a bunch of, that's why so many damaged people out in the world. We keep saying everybody hurt, everybody need therapy. That is why, because everybody is telling you to rip your soul in half, and they steady doing it over and over. And that's why we here. Okay, I said it.
You are not wrong, Doc. You are not wrong. And I'm a wheel us away from this. Wheel us away from this, and I'm just gonna say, you know, I think there's gonna be a lot of turmoil behind this for the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. And in that, I hope everybody's safe. This is a political thing. Mm-hmm. So I hope we can make sure people aren't getting hurt behind this. To all the women who may be affected by this and live in states where this is, because I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to end up having a lot of people end up moving and relocating and all that kind of stuff behind these kind of laws. And this is going to be I do believe, going to be the beginning of the physical divide of this country. What I mean, it's already been a mental division of this country. Mm-hmm. But I think you're going to get now even more so than ever a physical divide of the country where you're going to have people living in certain states purely because of the laws of those states.
Well, I mean, should they do that now? That's why all the rich people moved to Florida,
right?
And Texas.
Exactly. And I think that's when you're going to see a further division of that. Even more so. Because at least that was just for the people who could afford it. They moved there for tax purposes and all that. Now it's going to be about what I can do, can and can't do with my life on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that's just what's going to happen. That's what it's going to be. And I think it's going to be sad because you're going to end up getting people that don't get to experience. Part of the beauty of America is you can be in certain places and deal with everybody and experience everything and experience true diversity. It's one of the great things about the big city. But I think it's going to change up, and then it's going to be a sad day when we're going to be back to like a North and a South, like it was
100 years ago.
Yeah, pre-Civil War. It's going to be a North and a South where you have these places. Yeah. Big.
It's going to be an inside and an outside. Inside and outside. And what I mean by that is everybody is going to move to the interior of the United States because that's where the houses are cheaper. I'm serious. That's what it is.
Well, that's another story. The housing market and the cost of buying homes and these billion-dollar hedge funds buying up entire neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
everything's connected. It's all connected.
Yeah, that's a sad thing, and a story for another day. Last, we're gonna get out of here on a comedic note.
Okay. Well, before you go there, man, I just want to say this. The reason why I said I didn't want to go there is I try not to interject a lot of religious stuff. And when I start talking, it got a tendency to come out. And it's very controlled. I control that. So it won't, because I don't know where all y'all at, but I don't want to force that on you. But I say it, need it through my actions.
We're not going to do that, Doc. This is the Book of Man, hosted by Jay Sims and Lion, featuring Doc. Doc will say what the hell he want to say. and I'm gonna back him up 100%, whether I agree or disagree. You say one thing, and I'm gonna back up your right to say it. And if they don't like it, they don't have to watch it. We do this for us and for the people who want to see it, and open to hearing diversity of ideas. And in your thought process, the floor is open. Everybody wants to come on and say what they want to say.
Yeah.
They choose not to come on, that's on them. So
now I'll say this. So like, Jamel say, OG say, just say it. We all grown.
Exactly. They're gonna be all right.
But see, here's the thing.
They can comment or they can come on live.
So he said, don't be afraid to speak your experience. It is. But here is the issue. It's not really an issue. The religious stuff, I try to tread lightly on. I tread lightly on that on purpose. Now, I could open up a whole can, and I don't know if y'all want to eat all of it, but I can do it. But I don't want to do that. I'll be trying to slowly get out. But you know what? I'm gonna open it one time and let y'all see what we got.
I want you to, whether you do it or not is up to you. Because if you gonna go there, we going there. That's just where it's at. This is our platform. They want to say something. They make their own platform. And again, anybody who hears anything we say, don't like what we got to say, the link is in the description. Jump on in. Say what you got to say. Leave it in the comments. It's fine. We'll come back next week. If you say something crazy in the comments, we'll come back in there next week and we'll talk about it. It's fine. We don't have no problem. That's what we're here for. That we want to create discussions. I know my view is not Doc's view on everything. I know Doc's view is not my view on everything. I know people out there in the world are going to listen and not agree with what we got to say. That's fine.
Okay, then. All right. But you know what? Now, it's from my point of view anyway, so I will give content. All right. I'm going to say this one thing, man, and then we can move on to the good stuff.
Yeah.
We as humans are living in survival mode.
Right.
Survival mode is trying to get your body back to normal. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what has happened is that those same soul-tearing things that we've done is a result of survival mode. We're trying to replace something in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing we're trying to replace is that whole relationship with God. That's what survival mode does. And we all living in that. Because, let me break it down how it happens. We talked about abortion and people, having sex with whoever they want to. Why they do that? Because it's a void in their life they're trying to fill.
Yep.
That's what they're trying to do. So this whole thing, we're all in survival mode, and we gotta stop living in survival mode, because every substitution we try to put in there, every substitution that we try to insert in our lives, every Band-Aid we put on only make the problem worse, because we don't have the right thing to heal ourselves the right way. That's what it is. But all right, now I'm gonna stop, because I'll stop preaching over here and we be here all day. So and I gave me a horn for that.
I'm gonna say this about that, and it's less about religion as it is about a person has to be a whole person,
right?
Mentally, physically, and spiritually, whatever that looks like for you. And most of us are incomplete in at least one of those ways, and oftentimes more than two or three of those are lacking. And that is why people act a lot of the way they do, because they are not whole, either mentally, physically, or spiritually, and it causes all those issues in their life.
That's true. Hey, Jay. So honestly, that's not true. Honestly, we have a few steps before we can have a relationship with God. As people, we need to redevelop relationships with each other. It got to be the other way around, because what the teachings is love your neighbor. So you get that relationship first, and then it changes you so you can love your neighbor. That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So you can't establish relationships with people, because again, those relationships you're doing is trying to fill that void.
Now, I'm gonna say this. Hence why in the word, any word, the Bible, Quran, whatever, it says put God first.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree with that. Whether you agree with religion or not, in all of the teachings, they say the same thing, which is put God first, and then everything else will fall in line after that. It don't matter which teaching you go find me a teaching that don't say that, and because all of them say that same thing.
You know, it's kind of like what we talk about with men stuff. When you're having trouble in a relationship, stuff like that, they always say focus on yourself, improve you first,
right?
And then the relationship get better. And we've all seen that happens. And it's the same thing. You know, you focus on that, and then all your other relationships get better.
Yep.
So
all right. Let's go ahead. Let's give them something like that, and we're gonna move on.
All right, here we go. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me refresh it because it didn't do right. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. Hold on. Y'all can hear it, but I'm gonna get to it. Give me a second here. Where you coming from?
Oh, we don't hear nothing. We don't hear nothing, Doc.
Oh, good.
This is you. This is how you play it, right?
You got to start from the beginning.
Yeah, let me refresh it right here.
All right. Look here, fellas. I can't keep doing this shit. I've been doing this for over 30 years. All right,
talk to him, baby.
This summer, if you 40 and up, this is you. This is how you play it, right? Yeah, you do. Look, we this year here, we ain't doing that, man. No, man. Don't do that shit, man. This it right here. You know what I'm saying? Play it. You know what I mean? If you know, then you know. If you don't, you grow up. But we can't be out here, man. You know what I'm saying? That stop all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Get you some old school. You know what I'm saying? Throw that on. Get fresh. Hit the set, man. We ain't great. Be all right. Don't y'all do that, man.
Oh, hold on. Jay, I see you down there. I saw your comment, and I think we're gonna have to do another show to revisit that. But I want to let you know that we saw you and recognize you. All right, go ahead, Jay Sims, the line.
First off, I want to say I want to agree 100% with these brothers right here. And for us in this age group, y'all know what it is. If you got some of this right here in your beer, it ain't Hoochie Daddy season for you. Okay, it's some grown man shorts. You know what I'm saying? You know, grown man, you know what I'm saying, to your knees, get some nice kicks like the man say. I don't want to see it. I'm gonna tell you about. If I see you out in the street, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
To the young fellas, it really ain't it, fellas. It really ain't it. Don't let this stuff out here have you out here looking like that, man. That's not.
Don't let them people gassing you up.
They not. That's all they doing. They gassing you up. That's not for you, man. You know, concentrate on what really matters and let it go, man. Throw on some regular shorts, regular shirts. Let's go. Y'all already out here with too tight of clothes as it is.
Man, and that was it. And look, he said it was too far at skinny jeans. Yep.
What?
Look, you know what made me mad? And my wife accused me of not throwing out clothes, right? You don't be throwing out no clothes. Because I can't find sweatpants with pockets that's not skinny. I'm gonna keep them. You know the ones you can get down at off Montgomery with the pockets on the side? Yeah. Man, look.
You can't get it no more. Well, I miss Montgomery Street. Montgomery Street back in the day used to be what I call the hood emporium. You go down to Montgomery Street, you can get your clothes, you can get your kids' backpack for school. You can stop and get your some good barbecue, get you some bootleg CDs. You know, you can just start on one. You can get your raggedy car if you want one.
It's right down the street.
Seafood boy, you can go from one end of Montgomery to the end, get everything you need, and then really on the other end, you can stop at the Civic Center and go see your show. All the same day. Wake up on a Saturday morning, hit Montgomery Street all the way down and go to the show.
And you'll leave the Saturday night.
We lost that. I don't know what's going on this around. Last time I went down Montgomery Street, wasn't nothing there that I remember but that old McDonald's.
Okay. But man, here's the thing, man. Like you said, that ain't it, bro. Like you notice how when he pulled his shorts up, how light his legs was. If you can see if your legs looking like you two-tone, you got that two-tone paint.
You see, now they gonna argue. They gonna say, well, if you wear the shorts consistently, you will get the skin off shade to the right color, sir. If you wear them that consistently, you're already wrong.
Look, this ain't the 70s.
Your wardrobe.
In the 70s, that was it. This 2020,
2022.
that's 50 years ago.
We not
don't
doing
do that no more.
We ain't doing that no more, man.
Don't let these people gas you up. You know what's happening? They're telling you to wear this stuff, but they're laughing at you when you walk off.
Thank you. Looking ridiculous out here.
The women dictate fashion. They always had dudes do what women like. Yep.
Please stop that. Listen, the man ain't lying. Stop it. Stop being out here wrong, man. Be grown. We grown people out here.
You know what's gonna happen? Because see, they'll tell you one thing, but then actually like something else.
Well, this goes back to what I said about the gifts for Father's Day. Women will get you what they want you to have, not what you like.
Uh-huh.
And this is something women want you to wear. It ain't what you like. Now, they'll tell us real quick, oh, I dress like this for me because I want to look good. And then they want you to wear some shit for them to like. Don't do it, fellas. Don't do it. Wear what you like, fellas. Wear what you like because you want to look good. Don't let them have you out here looking crazy. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as other men, we don't respect you.
Nah, don't be wearing them hoochie daddy shorts.
We don't. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's on a whole nother. Look, get you some kicks. Get you some nice shorts. There you go.
You good.
Then you with the wrong person. Yep. Hey.
Now, on the same note, on the same note, I'm gonna say this right here. Now, if you in your house, and your significant other asks you to put some of them on, that's on you. That's in your house.
That's on you, bro.
Hey, you got to keep us in your house happy. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna question. I won't know. So what can I say about it? If you see you out in the store buying them, I'm gonna turn my head the other way like I ain't seen nothing.
Hey, as long as you ain't wearing them.
You know, kept in the store with them on.
Hey, so you said it's all about the print. Basically, women pants are popular because the women like seeing how big the imprint is without getting too close.
That's a scam, fellas. Don't fall for that. The reason I say that is make them have to work for the print. Make them have to work to see what else.
Yeah. You know what mysterious.
Yeah. You understand me? Make them have to come to the house. You get to the house before they get to see it.
So here's the thing, though. How is it that people these days can wear tight pants, short pants, right? But have trouble wearing a shirt and tie, saying they can't breathe?
Because it's all about what you want to do, man. You know? I got other things I can say, you know, I don't want to go into, you know, about how this, you know, about the effeminization of men and all that kind of stuff. We're not gonna go into all of that. We're gonna keep it comical today.
Hey.
First off, ladies, I understand where you're coming from, but it ain't for you.
They got them dudes wearing knickerbockers, man.
Yeah. But you know what? This ain't no different when they had the fellas out here in capri pants, when they had men wearing men's capris.
Yes. What they call them, clam diggers?
Whatever it was.
Bruh.
Come on. Tighten up. But we want to leave y'all on a funny note after talking about some serious topics this week. You know, fellas, if you're tired, you know, reach out for some help, man. It's out here for you.
Look, we did that.
Yep.
Look, me and you talked like a year before we did this.
I needed it at that time, man. I was really in a bad way, man. I was really struggling. And I can say without a shadow of doubt, my life improved after that.
That's right.
Pretty good, pretty high most of the time since then. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. And I appreciate you, man. And it goes a long way. So like I want to tell you, fellas, we here for you. You know, the inbox is open. You know, Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, whatever, in the group. It's a lot of good dudes in the group. Mm-hmm. You know, feel free to reach out. We here for you. The Roe v. Wade, ladies, you know, like I said, I don't think it's really an issue for a lot of men to have a whole lot to say about it. But I do think a woman should have her choice. And I do feel like it's this is a first domino in many other things to come to continue the division of this country, which I was born in this country, raised in this country, lived in this country my whole life. I think about leaving sometimes, but it doesn't mean I want to see it fall apart. If America could ever truly be the ideals we talk about being, it'd be a truly great country. And I would like to see us continue to move towards that. And I think we took a big step moving away from that in this decision.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Close up, Doc.
Yeah, man. You know, if you need help, if stuff getting difficult, talk to somebody. Preferably another man who understand where you've been. The most unlikely man might be the one you need.
Yep.
You know, that's what I did. I talked to a man who was total opposite of me. Tall, slender, white dude with an arm full of tattoos. To this day, that's my brother.
It is.
I tell everybody that's my brother. So yeah, this talk to him, man. Hey man, look, this is what's happening. This is how I feel. And then go from there, because 9 times out of 10, that man has been through the same stuff. And what happens is you start listening to him and helping him. And through that, you help yourself.
Yep.
That's how that works. Turning this abortion thing, like I said, it's a subject that's very complex that we try to make simple.
Yeah.
I do think that people should have the choice to get it, but they the ones that got to deal with the consequences of it. And it shouldn't be free. You know, it should be hard to get it. It should be hard to get it. It should be there, but it shouldn't be easy. And lastly, man, don't let these people trick you into wearing these hoochie daddy shorts. Don't do that, man.
Don't do it. Grown men,
because you know what? Next thing you know, you violating the other man rules. You getting waxed and all that other stuff. Man, nah, bro. Just this way you some regular stuff.
And fellas, don't stop buying the regular stuff, because as soon as you stop buying it, you won't be able to
stop making it.
You know how hard it is to find some regular jeans out here?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna start wearing some no-name brand stuff, boy, so I can get some straight legs. Hey.
you can't even find no regular stuff out here.
You know what? We're gonna all be wearing work clothes all the time.
We on everything.
Wearing some Dickie suits. That's it. With the whole overall.
All right. So I just want to say, thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for coming out. We love you. Peace.
Later.